Hi there, I'm back. I've got a little video about how to set up the head and arm materials. So I've had tons of people ask me with Ultimate FPS, which you can download from the asset store, how to take a character that you find on the asset store or somewhere else and break it up so that you have a head material, arm materials, and a body material. You want this set up because in first-person mode you want the head to be invisible, whereas if you're doing multiplayer you want the whole body to be visible. Or if you want to do just first-person only, you're going to want to see the arms. You're not going to want to see the body. Maybe you will for the feet, but you're not going to want the head in the way. So I have found this awesome tool on the asset store. It's called FPS Mesh Tool by Code Bison Games. Basically what it does is it takes any model and it breaks it up. So you'll see here they're using the Mixamo one, so I'm not going to use that one. And they've used a couple of the other ones which are fairly popular. I've actually tested out a number of assets from different places. Like I looked at a couple different Mixamos. I've looked at like DAS 3D, Poser, Make Human, so on and so on. So the difficult thing is actually taking a model and pulling it out of Unity and making these materials. So with this tool you don't have to do that. So I'm going to show you this with the Speedball character because it's fairly popular, and this soldier pack. Alright, so I'm in Unity. I think I have version 4.6.1F, and I have the mesh tool loaded, and I've also downloaded the characters. So right now I'm at, this view is at 0, 0, 0 because I dragged my character in. It's the Speedball one. You see he's at 0, 0, 0. So what I'm going to do is, when you're setting up these guys, you're going to want to be in this view, in this location, because the FPS Mesh Tool is going to put the character at 0, 0, 0. So I'm just going to scoot him here. Go Window, FPS Mesh Tool. So here's the tool. Drag your character in. It grabbed the bones. Sometimes this will grab the wrong bone, but that's not an issue. I've only found that with maybe just a couple. And you'll see here where it's yellow, that'll be a new material, and where the body is, that'll be a new material, and where the head is, that'll be a new material. Now imagine if you just wanted first-person arms and you just wanted maybe the right arm. Well, what you could do is you could, if you drag the right arm in both places, now you have one material here. This will be a material, and this will be a material. Sometimes you might want this if you have like a melee weapon. So I'm going to put it back to the, so you can see how easy it is. Let me put the, instead of that one, I'll put that. Notice it's higher. I found that some models, the head might be too high, so you might want to use the neck. So the neck will go down further, for instance. And then you can change the weights, so on and so forth, and you can make some adjustments. But for this one, the head works fine. Leave it on 1, and then I'm going to hit Build FPS Mesh. It's going to come back. It'll look just like the original mesh. There's no extra. See here, you still got, this is the one that we downloaded. I still have the skeleton and I have the body, but notice here the body is one material. Over here the body is multiple materials. So you've got body, head, and arms. So what I'm going to do is, if you look under the materials, if I want the head to disappear, the head's head's gone. If I want the body to just disappear, the body's gone. So now I have arms that I can use in a first-person shooter game or some other game. So if you wanted a character where you wanted the camera position where the head is, well, here you've got the whole body. And what it does is it actually takes the material and it puts the word body, arms, and head on it, which is exactly what this is the UFPS manual. So this is what it says. You've got a head material, it has to have the word head in it. Arms, it has to have the word arm, and the body, it doesn't matter what it has in it. But it's best to have the word body in it as well. And then from here, you've got your FPS Mesh character. You're going to want to create a ragdoll out of this, set up your weapons, save it as a prefab, and then you would probably have two of them. Like what I would have is the full character, and then I would have one and I would call it arms. And basically I would use this one for my first person. So I would have the body and the head disappear. I always do this. So if you move them over here, so this would be the one I used for everything else, and this one I would use for the arms only. But before you create this one, do your ragdoll so you don't have to do the ragdoll twice. For the soldier pack, I'm just going to change these real quick to be mechanim instead of humanoid, so that when I work with it, it'll be right. And I also change it to 0.0, and I did 1.1. So that the size is going to be similar to the UFPS size. See, so if you look at the two sizes, this is more of a standard character size. A lot of models are going to come in smaller. Now you notice with this guy, he has 14 materials, which is a lot. So we go FPS Mesh Tool, drag our guy in, I'm going to create preview, and then you can make adjustments if you need to. So if we use, whoops, I'm just going to use the head, and you can fine tune this, add more, add less. So I'm just going to leave it as is, you get the idea. And you see, if we look at it, see the whole arm plus everything that is with it, and the head is going to be invisible, which is good. I mean, you could try a different piece, but you see it's better off just using this one. So you build your FPS mesh. So we're going from 14 materials, and then we're going to end up with 16, but what it did was it put the word body, arms, head in place of all these materials. So you can still do the same thing we did with the other one, where we started out with one material and we ended up with 3. You can, anywhere where it says body, you can make it invisible, or all the head ones you can make it invisible. So it's exactly the same type of process, and I would do a ragdoll and save it. On submodels, like this one's a fuse model, I just did a fuse zombie. On the body part, you're going to end up with 3, so you'll have the body, the head, and the arms, but then you'll notice you've got a lot of other materials that if you're just doing the arms, you just delete these materials. You don't really need all these extra materials if your end goal is just to end up with arms. Here's another model that I tested out. You've got the zombie, and then he ended up with 3 materials. and then I set myself up an arms one, so that way if I want to be a first-person zombie, I can. And this was my test with Make Human. So you see the one where it's just arms, I got rid of all those extra meshes that I'm not going to need. So I think you kind of get an idea. This even works with other types of models. Like I took the dragon from Mixamo, and I did the similar thing, which I don't know how you would be a first-person dragon, but it ended up with multiple materials. So, like if I want the head to disappear, you could do the same thing. So this works on more than just, actually I made the body disappear. So their body's gone. So this works on more than just those meshes, but really it's basically set up for using like a Mechanim or Legacy type characters. Really a humanoid type character, because you can see I can't get 4 legs. So there you go. You saw how quickly it took to take a mesh that you can get from the asset store and set it up so that you'll be able to set up your character for Ultimate FPS or another one. Like the one that comes with it, this is the hero. See, there's the body. They just called it hero. They didn't even change the name. And then there's a head component and an arm component. So I hope that helped. It's a lot faster and a lot easier than taking it into Blender or asking the asset creator. I mean, sometimes you don't even have an FBX to work with. So good luck and have fun. Thanks.